Arsenal Fan TV up here in Newcastle with Newcastle and Arsenal legend Malcolm McDonald. How you doing, Malcolm?
Good. I'm very
Super match, should I say?
Well, yeah, but thoroughly looking forward to the game coming up. Really am.
What have you made of Arsenal this season?
I love what they do. I love the way they go about the game. I keep reading reports about Arsene Wenger not being totally stable within his job, and I think what a load of nonsense. It really is, because what Arsenal have actually been able to achieve in the last few years is quite astounding. That fantastic stadium. People have got to remember that has cost a vast sum of money, and yet in all of that, other clubs would have fallen by the wayside for the stadium, but Arsenal never did, and they've maintained an incredible record in the Champions League. Sadly, they've just got knocked out, and they must be kicking themselves all for 2 or 3 minutes of utter stupidity. But they'll be back. They'll be back, and I have the feeling that they are. I think that they'll be looking between now and the end of the season that maybe not to catch Chelsea. I think that's a little bit beyond anybody, but certainly I think they can overhaul Man City. Man City are wobbling, and Arsenal, they are playing the best football that I've seen in the Premiership so far this season.
Now, listen, you were the original number 9. That's what I'd say. You were like an original number 9 striker up front there. You were brilliant. Now, what do you make of the strikers now? Olivier Giroud, who I'd say probably plays a similar sort of role to what you used to play when you played. What do you make of him?
Well, I think he does well within the confines of the way that Arsenal play. There isn't that freedom for him as I experienced. That Arsenal, they have a fantastic playing style that literally includes all 11 players. They're all in it. No matter where the ball is on the pitch, everybody is involved. It's quite unique the way Arsenal actually do it. And so his tasks are a lot more varied than mine. I concentrated very much on goal scoring, goal making, and it paid off in my statistics, in the statistics of those around me. And my theory always was, look, there are 9 outfield players down there with a goalkeeper. If you can't do it, I'm not going to make a lot of difference back down there. Let me get on with it here.
You wouldn't be able to get away with it nowadays.
Well, I probably not. Probably not.
Only Messi, isn't it? He's allowed to do that now, or Cristiano Ronaldo.
I think so, yeah. yeah. But even then, you'll see them getting back on the edge of their box. But yes, the game was a little bit different then. But I think that I was completely out of the ordinary at Arsenal when I joined, because Arsenal had an absolutely phenomenal partnership of John Radford and Ray Kennedy. And they would have suited the way the game is played now. They would have suited it perfectly. They would have been phenomenal in today's game. And so when I came, my style was completely different, and there was no point in trying to change me. It was Arsenal who wanted to change their style, and I sort of led the way, I think. And it brought out so much good stuff. For the likes of Graham Rix and Liam Brady, and
they got all your knockdowns, didn't they?
Yeah, well, a lot of them, yeah. David Price, he did ever so well in midfield at times. So it was all coming on quite brilliantly down there. And I can assure you that because I had to retire, I was forced to retire through this damn knee situation of mine, and it really broke my heart, because I could see the great stuff that was that was all burgeoning on the field in Arsenal shirts, you know.
Do you miss it? Do you miss football? When you come in at St James's Park, I know you're a legend there. When you go around watching games, I mean, do you miss it that, you know, it's completely changed? I mean,
It's
for
changed,
starters, the
yeah.
amount of money they get nowadays, I'm sure that's a lot more than what you got in your day. I mean,
yeah, you know, but you make the most of your particular time. You know, whenever you were born, you have to make the most of it, and you can drive yourself mad going if only. You know, and wishing for other stuff. You know, like I just wonder what players would make of the fact that throughout all of my decade in the top division, I paid 82.5% tax. Think about that one. You know,
there'd be nobody here.
yeah, but you know, there's no use sort of,
Yeah.
you know, weeping over it. That's the way it was then, and we all got on with it together. But it was a great time to play. It could be rough and tough and could get nasty. You know, the game has been immensely cleaned up. With a change in refereeing, the change of rules, the way that the television cameras are used, and to have subsequent prosecutions, and it's completely cleaned the game up. It really has, and I think it's good. Go on, sorry.
I was going to ask you, sort of finally, strikers, because I want to ask you about it, because you were such a legend as a striker. The best strikers around now, who would you say? Who would you say Premier League best three?
Costa at Chelsea, without any shadow of a doubt.
A bit like you, wasn't he?
Yeah, he is a bit, yeah. And when you think they only paid 12 grand for him, 12 million rather, they paid 12 million for him. You know, there's a lad here who they paid 12 million for, and you know, and you think.
So you say?
No. Caballo.
Cabello,
yeah. He prefers to have his name said in a different way. It's daft. Cabela. He cost 12 million, the same, you know, and I keep hearing football clubs saying, well, they've come from abroad, they need a year to adapt. Didn't take Costa a year to adapt, did it? You know, so it's a load of old hogwash, really. It's all excuses because they're not really that good enough. He I think has been the outstanding player. The fella at Man City, he's been he's been doing well. Been doing very well. But I have to say, I keep watching Giroud, and I think, I see him getting better and better all of the time, and I just wonder where it's actually going to take him. It's going to be interesting to keep watching him. He's got an awful lot going for him, and he hasn't got that sort of ruggedness like Costa or the flamboyance. You know, that he just gets his head down and he just keeps playing and doing it. And I like him. I want to see where it actually takes him over the next couple of years.
Well, listen, it's a pleasure speaking to you. You're looking so well. You know, you're really looking well. I know you're a legend up here. You're a legend down at Arsenal as well, and Luton Town.
Right. Indeed, yeah.
All right, so listen, thanks very much.
Not at all.
Pleasure.
Not at all.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Can I just do a little song for the cock? The cock, yeah.
All right, let's hear it.
Who let the cock out?